What if I told you the mighty Roman Empire, a civilization that ruled for 1,000 years, was brought to its knees not just by barbarian hordes, but by something far smaller? Something you can't even see. Stick around, because the real story is wilder than you think. For centuries, Rome was the undisputed superpower of the ancient world. Its legions marched from the misty shores of Britain to the sun-scorched deserts of Mesopotamia. The Colosseum roared with the cheers of 50,000 spectators. Aqueducts ferried fresh water across hundreds of miles, and Roman law became the bedrock of Western civilization. But no empire lasts forever. The first crack in this colossal structure appeared with what historians call the crisis of the 3rd century. Imagine a 50-year period where Rome had over 20 different emperors, most of whom were assassinated. Civil wars erupted constantly, the economy imploded under hyperinflation, and barbarian tribes began to chip away at the borders. Rome was tearing itself apart from the inside. Then came the second turning point, the division. In 285 AD, Emperor Diocletian made a pragmatic but fateful decision. The empire was simply too vast to be governed by one man. So he split it in two, the Western Roman Empire with its capital in Rome, and the Eastern Roman Empire, later known as the Byzantine Empire, ruled from Constantinople. For a while, this seemed to work. It stabilized the frontiers and streamlined governance. But it also created two distinct cultural and political entities. The West spoke Latin, the East spoke Greek. Over time, they grew apart, their destinies diverging, weakening the idea of a single, unified Roman world. The final fatal blow wasn't a single battle, but a slow, agonizing decline. This is our third turning point. The Western Empire, weakened by internal strife and economic collapse, faced relentless pressure from migrating peoples like the Goths and Vandals. In 410 AD, the unthinkable happened. Rome was sacked by the Visigoths. It was a psychological shockwave that reverberated across the Mediterranean. While the city would recover, the empire's authority was shattered. Over the next few decades, provinces fell one by one until 476 AD, when the last Western Roman emperor, a young boy ironically named Romulus Augustulus, was deposed. The West had fallen. Now for a deep insight most people get wrong. We often imagine the fall of Rome as a single cataclysmic event, like a building collapsing overnight. But the truth is far more complex. The Eastern Roman Empire didn't fall. It thrived for another 1,000 years, preserving Roman culture and knowledge. And here is the kicker I mentioned at the start. A major contributor to the West's decline was disease. The Antonine Plague and the Plague of Cyprian, which swept through the empire in the 2nd and 3rd centuries, wiped out up to a third of the population. This decimated the army, crippled the economy, and made it nearly impossible to defend the vast borders. It wasn't just swords and spears. It was a microscopic enemy that helped bring a giant to its knees. The legacy of Rome is all around us, in our languages, our laws, and our architecture. It's a timeless story of ambition, power, and the hard truth that even the greatest empires are fragile. So here is a question for you. If you could bring back one aspect of the Roman Empire today, what would it be? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy diving deep into history's most fascinating stories, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching.